Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming and joining us for becoming a Berkeley engineer. I would like to thank you for taking the time to be with us this morning. My name is Marvin Lopez, and I am Director of Student Programs and Engineering Student Services, and it's my pleasure to welcome you and to congratulate you on becoming a Berkeley engineer. I don't need to remind you what a momentous milestone this is. All of you have persevered, displayed focus, determination, and sacrifice for 17, 18 years, and this is a culmination of all that. So congratulations and welcome. I don't need to tell you that I would much rather see you on campus than to see myself on screen, but on that note, I would like to wish you all health and safety during these challenging times. We hope to tell you a little bit about Berkeley Engineering so that you can choose to join us in the fall. As I said, my name is Marvin Lopez, and I'm Director of Student Programs and Engineering Student Services. In a moment, you'll hear from Sharon Mueller, our Director of Advising and Policy, my dear friend and colleague. But in the meantime, I will tell you a little bit about Berkeley Engineering and what makes Berkeley Engineering a special place. First of all, our mission, and this is a mission that I firmly believe in, that I see demonstrated before me every single day. And it's a simple three-part mission. Starts with educating leaders. We in Berkeley Engineering educate leaders, meaning that we educate leaders and students and alumni who not only are great engineers, but push the profession forward, who lead the field from their companies, their organizations, wherever they may be, take engineering to the next level and push and question and challenge the status quo to make engineering a more relevant and even more important profession. We create knowledge. This is the #1 public engineering institution. It is a research institution, which means that we create knowledge. And not only the 30% of students that go on to graduate school participate in research, but more and more of our students are participating in research, working with world-class faculty, creating knowledge every day. And we see that the value that brings to not only the profession in the field, but to them as alumni and eventually as professionals. And I think most importantly, and this is something that I see, that truly see every day, is we serve society, and our alums and our engineers do serve society under normal circumstances, but especially now. For example, one of our faculty is currently working on applying her research in wastewater to understanding the spread of the COVID-19 virus, and many others initiatives where our faculty and our alumni are serving society every single day. We have 3,600 undergraduates, and we hope that you will become one of those next year, in 11 single majors and 11 minors spread across 8 departments. Those majors are bioengineering, civil and environmental engineering, electrical engineering and computer sciences, energy engineering, engineering math and statistics, engineering physics, environmental engineering science, industrial engineering and operations research, material science and engineering, and mechanical engineering and nuclear engineering. Innovation is at the heart of what Berkeley provides, and because of our location at the heart of innovation in the country and indeed the world, we have a number of initiatives and programs and institutes that offer innovation opportunities for all our students throughout their time at Berkeley and beyond. The Jacobs Institute for Design is our latest hub for instilling design in all of engineering, and for allowing multidisciplinary and efforts around instilling design in the field of engineering. Through the Satarja Center for Entrepreneurship and Technology, students can achieve a certificate in entrepreneurship, allowing them and teaching them how to start a company from ideation to implementation. All of this is run by an amazing core of faculty. We have 227 faculty who are world-class, not only because we say so, but because the numbers bear it out. 78 members of our faculty are 78 faculty are members of the National Academy of Engineering, which is the highest honor that faculty in engineering can achieve. 24 of our faculty are recipients of Cal's Distinguished Teaching Award, which means that our faculty not only care about research, but about teaching. And this is an award that's awarded to faculty by the students. and by the community on campus at large. And 6 of our faculty are recipients of the Turing Award in computer science, which I'm sure many of you know is essentially the Hall of Fame for engineers and computer science. I know you're just starting your freshman career, you're about to start your college career, but we do want you to think, and no doubt many of you are thinking, about your master's. And we offer 2 fifth-year master's degrees. These are professional focused masters that are 1 year. The Master's in Science degree program in the College of Engineering is a 5th-year program immediately after your bachelor's and offered by a number of our departments. And the Master's in Engineering degree offered by the Coleman Fung Institute of Engineering, which is also a program, a 1-year program that, as you can see on the screen, prepares you for career paths that are more in management and executive positions. As I mentioned earlier, we are part of Engineering Student Services, and Engineering Student Services, we like to think, is the hub of support for all engineering undergraduates in the college. We provide the tools, the knowledge, the support for engineers to thrive not only at Cal, but beyond. And as we like to think that you can't spell success without ESS. So what do we do in Engineering Student Services? We provide support in a number of areas, the critical pillars for our students. First of all, academic support. We have a team, a world-class team of academic advisors who will work with your students throughout their career in all things academic. So ensuring that their program is, they're staying current with their program, if there's any changes to their major, their classes, adding majors, changing majors, adding classes, policies, deadlines, etc. Your academic advisor will work with you to ensure that you're on track to graduate within 4 years, which is what the vast majority of our students do. In addition, we provide things like tutoring, workshops on time management, note-taking, all the academic success tools that you need to succeed at Berkeley. We provide professional development opportunities, everything to prepare you for a career as an engineer. We work closely with our Career Center and also within our own staff, which is very knowledgeable in career development and professional development, offering things like the etiquette dinner that you see here on the screen. Cupcakes and headshots, where we offer students the opportunity to learn how to build an optimal LinkedIn page along with a cupcake. Support for career fairs, and everything up to and including how to negotiate for a job offer so that at the end you leave with an optimal career, an optimal position to satisfy all your dreams. And we offer leadership development. Leadership both as individuals through a number of programs that you see here, leadership on the top right, our Momentum Speaker Series to develop students' speaking skills, but also through our student organizations, of which we have 80 and growing, that serve everything from, span everything from identity organizations to professional chapters to competition, into philanthropy and serving society. So we have a number of organizations that, and it keeps growing to serve any and all interests of our students just within the College of Engineering, not to mention the hundreds of student organizations outside of the College of Engineering, of which, to which many of our students also belong. As I mentioned earlier, if you are interested in graduate school, and many of you are, and I know that about 1/3 of our students do go on to graduate school, Mel Tameril, our Director of Graduate Outreach, provides support both individually with appointments for undergraduate students to guide them and assist them in the process for applying to graduate school, but also through programs like the Graduate Preview Days and Pathways to STEM Conference to prepare students more holistically and structured in how to apply and pursue graduate school. We have a number of counseling and psychological services. As we know, Berkeley Engineering is a rigorous place, and sometimes times can get tough, and sometimes students do need the extra support to address the myriad of issues that they might encounter. And we have 3 counselors that work in our offices every day to ensure that our students have the support they need to overcome the many challenges they may face. I know them personally, and they're amazing, an amazing team. Now you're thinking, wow, there's lots that you offer, lots that you put on. How do I find out about all of this? We have an amazing marketing team that we work closely with that ensures that your students and that you all know exactly what is going on in the College of Engineering. Our primary vehicle for disseminating all our information and all that we offer is the newsletter. Every Monday afternoon, our Engineering Student Services newsletter goes out that includes everything and all that we offer and that students should be aware of. Upcoming deadlines, processes, workshops, company visits, etc. If your students don't know, it's because they haven't read the newsletter. So please, I encourage you highly to read the newsletter. I encourage your students to read the newsletter, because if they didn't know, it's not in the newsletter. And of course, we also have a presence in all the social media channels, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. So there's no way to not know what we do unless you really try. So please stay on top of all our newsletters and all our information, because we have a myriad of offers for all of your students. Now, at the heart of what we do in Berkeley in serving society is ensuring that regardless of where you come from, regardless of your zip code, regardless of the resources available to your school, you have the tools and the knowledge to succeed. And to that end, we offer us a number of programs starting from the summer before school starts, all the way through the first and second years to ensure that students have the tools to succeed. And those are our prep, T-Prep, and engineering scholars programs. Prep is a pre-engineering program. T-Prep is a transfer version of prep. And these are 3-week residential programs in the summer that give students the tools that they need to round out their preparation, should they need it, to ensure they have what they need to succeed at Berkeley. Similarly, the engineering scholars are year-long programs through the first year to ensure they have the tools they need to succeed. So you've heard a lot about Berkeley, not only through this conversation, but previously about our high ranking. So Berkeley is number one, the number one public institution in the country, the number one engineering institution in the country. Every department that I mentioned is ranked in the top 5 and more likely in the top 1 or 2. But what does that mean? What does that really mean on the ground? It means that you get to connect with an incredible array of scholars and students and faculty who, like you, are at the top, or came from the top of their schools. They're the top of the top around the country and around the world. So you get to connect with amazing peers, amazing faculty, amazing staff, who will guide you and connect you with incredible opportunities that you wouldn't get in many other places. You get to innovate, and not only to learn about innovation in the classroom, but really outside the classroom. You'll get to take part at Jacobs, at Sutarja. As I mentioned, the number of clubs and organizations that come up with novel ideas to solve all sorts of problems, whether it's clean water, whether it's medical devices, etc. And you get to discover. You get to discover the world. As you can see here, we have pictures of Berkeley engineers around the world, but you get to discover opportunities, or discover yourself through opportunities such as research, such as global opportunities, such as internships, that ultimately help you understand, why are you a Berkeley engineer? What legacy do you want to leave as a Berkeley engineer? So we hope that this quick overview will give you an idea of what we offer as an institution. There are an amazing number of resources now and for the foreseeable future to help you understand this better. And taking it from the bottom up, this is the start of Cal Week. So Cal Week 2020, and there's over 50 events, online events that we in the College of Engineering are putting on to guide you through this conversation in the next week. So I encourage you to look at all the events that we have starting right now. Our Engineering Student Services website has anything and everything around engineering student services and what we offer, so I encourage you to look at that. Then our Berkeley Engineering website alone gives you an in-depth opportunity to then understand what Berkeley Engineering offers, all our departments, our dean and the dean's office. And finally, the not-so-secret guide to being a Berkeley engineer. This is a great tool for understanding with webinars and podcasts to help you understand and to guide you and provide you resources for every aspect of engineering that you can think of. So with that, I want to turn it over to Sharon Mueller to help us to address any and all the questions that you have. I thank you for your time. Congratulate you again for being a Berkeley engineer, and go Bears.
Thank you, Marvin. And welcome everyone. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, no matter where you are. I'm Sharon Mueller, and I'm Director of Advising and Policy in Engineering Student Services. And we're going to switch to our Q&A section now for the ESS advisors. So joining me today are 3 of the Engineering Student Services Advisors. We have Sharina Sampson and Olivia Chan and Don Strow. So I see there are already some questions coming in. I just wanted to ask you to please keep typing in your questions. And if you notice the little, thumbs up next to the question, that will move the question to the top of the list. So if it's a question you want the answer to as well, please hit the thumbs up and it'll move it up to the top. And I see you're all doing that right now. So that's great. So continue to ask your questions. We have about 40 minutes or so, 35 minutes to answer your questions. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So I think I'm going to start with Olivia and ask you, how hard is it to switch between engineering majors within the college?
So if you've already been accepted into the College of Engineering, we do have criteria that will allow you to change within the college. So kind of also to answer those questions about coming from outside of the college, there is a application process for you to change from outside the college as well. We just don't allow students to change into electrical engineering, computer science if you are coming, again, from outside of the College of Engineering. If you are within the College of Engineering, we will allow that.
Thanks, Olivia. And then a very similar question, maybe I'll shoot this one to Sharina. Is it possible to double major? So that would mean 2 majors within the College of Engineering, or there's also simultaneous degree, which is a major in engineering and then a major in another college. So is that possible?
Yes, it's absolutely possible. The key to a simultaneous degree application or a double major application or thinking about it is to definitely sit down with your ESS advisor and kind of plan that out. It may be that you may not want to take all of those courses after seeing how many courses that would require, but it's definitely possible. Just take some planning.
Thanks, Sharina. And Marvin, actually, I'm going to put you on the hot spot now. So the question is, how will prep and freshman edge programs be affected by COVID-19? I can speak to freshman edge. It has been decided that all summer session courses are going to be remote. Marvin, do you want to address prep?
Yes, thank you, Sharon. And similarly, prep, we have decided, in fact, just this week to move both prep and T-prep to online platforms. So we are currently literally in the process of figuring out what that'll look like for this year. It presents us with some challenges, but also presents us with some opportunities to reimagine prep and focus on specific areas that we think will be particularly suited to the online process. So more to come, but it will be online, both prep and T-prep. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you. Okay, it looks like students are interested in the 5th year programs. I could ask Olivia, do you want to answer that? The question is, are there 5th year programs, master's programs for all of the majors or just some of them?
So there are 5th year master programs. There are programs that you can, depending on what your major is. So for example, I advise energy engineering, engineering math and stat, and environmental engineering science. So these majors, people are wondering, can I even pursue a 5th year master's? So you can, it's just maybe in a different or more specific engineering department. But yes, you could definitely from any of our majors go into a 5th year master's program. It's just your eligibility may be affected depending on what major you're trying to get into.
Thanks, Olivia. And Don, I don't know if you want to tackle this one, but the question is, how big are the CS classes, and do EECS students get priority for enrolling in CS classes? Oh, Don, you're muted.
I hit unmute. Oh, I hit the space bar probably. I just learned this yesterday and accidentally used it. So good morning. So I'll try and tackle this, but there's a lot of talk out there about how enormous class sizes are at UC Berkeley, and there's some truth to that, but it's not the whole truth. There's a pretty large majority of classes that are going to be under 30 students. But some of the introductory courses are going to be rather large. So you might find that some of your classes in your freshman and sophomore year are going to be much, much bigger. The CS classes, maybe someone else can speak to this a little bit better, but the CS classes might be kind of large. But you also might find that if you have really large courses, there may be these other complementary pieces to the courses where you might have labs or discussion sections, and those are going to be much smaller. So it's a way sometimes to break these enormous classes down into, I think, smaller communities where you get to know your classmates and your instructors a little bit better. But in terms of some of the specifics, maybe one of the other advisors can chime in and talk about, how big some of the specific CS classes are.
I don't know, Olivia, if you want to jump in.
Okay, so I mean, definitely a lot of our lower division courses are large, but they are large because they can be webcasted. So that means students don't have to be physically in the room in order to attend the course. So that allows us to make these classes larger. As we move into upper division courses, the class sizes do get much, much smaller. And as Dawn pointed out, there are discussion sections which then even break these smaller classes down, again, even smaller. So definitely if you see seats and you see the number of seats, it also doesn't necessarily mean that it's just one lecture. So when you hear students talking about there's this many people in this class, it could be that it's spanning over multiple lecture sections taught by different professors. So don't let numbers throw you off. Yes, some of our classes, I think all across different majors, different majors, that you're going to find that classes are large and they get smaller as you move into upper division courses.
Thanks, Olivia. And Marvin, I'm going to throw this one to you. So the question is, what opportunities do engineering students have to do research and internships?
Thank you, Sharon. I thought I might get that one. So I like to think of, in a nutshell, a lot. So there's lots of opportunities to do research and internships. And I like to think of achieving success in research and internships as the intersection. And for those of you out there, I'm an engineer myself, so I think engineering I think of the intersection of preparation and opportunities. And we teach you both. We teach you all the tools you need to be prepared. Everything from your elevator pitch to networking to resumes, interviewing, all the pieces you need to be prepared. And we also teach you, or at least we offer, how to find the opportunities. And there's a myriad of places to find opportunities, whether it's LinkedIn, career fairs, department presentations, company visit. And hopefully with your resourcefulness, you can put those two together and achieve the research opportunities and the internship opportunities that are out there. We are formalizing as we speak our process, or college-wide process for leveraging research opportunities. So that's coming. And we work closely, as I mentioned earlier, with our Career Center to provide greater access to internship opportunities as well. But it's all about ensuring you have those two, that you are prepared and that you find those opportunities. So when the moment comes, you can get the internships and the research opportunities that you're after.
Thanks, Marvin.
Thank you, Sharon.
Sharina, how easy is it to finish your degree in 3 years?
Well, I would say that it would depend on the major and how many major requirements that you have for a particular major. The large majority of our students actually graduate in 4 years, about 85% of them. So certainly that's something you can plan to do, and there's might be certain reasons that you want to do that, financial reasons, for example. But most of our programs, the large majority of our programs, are 4-year programs.
Yeah, I might add that our average time to degree is 3.9 years. So there are definitely many students who finish in 3 years, but as Sharina said, it does depend on your major. So Marvin, I might ask you this one because you are a UCLA engineering graduate. How would you compare Berkeley's engineering program to UCLA's engineering program?
Great question, Sharon. I thought I might get that one as well. You know, ultimately, you know, the rankings is one thing, right? So you know the rankings, as I mentioned earlier through my conversation. Most of in fact, all 8 departments in the College of Engineering at Berkeley are ranked in the top 5, top 3. So there's that. But what does that really mean? You know, again, the opportunities and the access that you get through Berkeley Engineering are unparalleled. Certainly in the EECS world, the CS world, you know, we're literally 60 miles from Silicon Valley. There's an incredible ecosystem and in relationships with the Valley that are unparalleled. Does that mean that UCLA is less than Berkeley? You know, it depends. It ultimately, and I know that it's challenging in these times, but ultimately what I always say is visit the schools and see, you know, where do you feel most at home? Now, you know, in the times we're in, visiting may not be possible, but, you know, have more of these conversations with alumni, with the staff to understand where do you feel more at home? It's ultimately what you make of it. So, you know, if you can be in the top ranked, you know, college and department, and if you don't take advantage of those opportunities in those and that preparation, you won't achieve what you're looking for. And similarly, you can take advantage of everything. And so they're both top schools. They're both highly ranked. They're both well known, certainly in the West Coast and certainly countrywide. I am alum of, you know, I'm a UCLA alum, so there's a little bias in there, but there's advantages to UCLA, there's advantages to Berkeley. It's what you're looking for and what speaks to you in conversations with alums and conversations with industry that I think can really ultimately answer that question. So.
Thanks, Marvin.
Does that help?
Dawn, is study abroad a possibility for engineering students? Oh, Dawn, you're muted again.
Sorry about that. It absolutely is possible. For a lot of things, you're going to hear us say you really need to talk to your ESS advisor. The critical piece here is planning. The earlier you start planning, the more you can fit into your time here. And so I would say if study abroad is something that you're interested in, even if it's something that you're just kind of thinking about, come in and speak to your ESS advisor. The thing that we would want to talk about is when's the best time to go? You know, is this really about mostly engaging with culture? Is it mostly about being able to take advantage of some requirements? And there are programs that have very specific components for students who might want to do some STEM coursework. So I think it's very much a possibility, and it's something that can really enrich your time here. You know, there's a lot of talk right now about so many things that are canceled because of COVID-19, and our hope is that's going to be different in the you know, near future. And so I think thinking about, you know, what kinds of countries are attractive to you and what kinds of programs might be available. But again, going back to this idea of meeting with your ESS advisor as soon as possible is going to help you really think about getting the most out of your time here. So I really encourage you to consider it. I think it's an amazing opportunity. And there are other things, and not to get ahead of ourselves here, but there are other things that we can talk about in terms of your graduation date and all of those kinds of things. But it starts with planning.
Thanks, Dawn. Oh, Marvin?
Sure. Yes, if I may add to that, just recently, literally in the last couple of years, we've implemented a number of programs and growing a number of programs to expose students to global opportunities. So not necessarily global study abroad, but opportunities to explore either research or simply global visits, to explore entrepreneurship, to explore engineering as a profession overseas, to understand what kinds of problems are being solved overseas, what kinds of initiatives are there to address local issues from an engineering perspective. And we're growing more of those programs. We sadly had to cancel them this spring, but we hope to bring them back at least next spring, if not the fall. To create those opportunities. So not only study abroad, but just global exposure at all, I feel is critical as an engineer, but we're creating more of those opportunities that are available to all of you. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you. Olivia, what are the advantages of being admitted directly into EECS?
Well, you'll already know your major, so you won't have to stress about what do I need to do to change into another major. So again, just in terms of planning, I think it's easiest when you know you're already in the major that you want to pursue. In terms of certain majors also have reserved seatings for their major. So when you enroll in courses, there may be a couple seats set aside during what we have phase 1, phase 2 enrollment, which basically are 2 different times when you will enroll. So basically, that reserve seating, being a part of that major, will give you priority into getting into those classes. So just starting off as EECS, you won't have to worry about getting into those lower division classes that you need for your major. Again, if you're trying to get into EECS from outside of the College of Engineering, we do not take students from outside the College of Engineering to change into EECS. But if you are within the College of Engineering, there is a process for you to change into EECS, but you would need to talk to your ESS advisor, and we would then guide you and let you know the steps that were needed to change in.
Thanks, Olivia. Sharina, what's the percentage of females graduating with an engineering degree?
So in terms of our census population for fall 19, about 28% of our student body in the College of Engineering is female. I do not have graduation data in front of me, but a large percentage of that student population will graduate within 4 years.
Thank you. And
Sure.
Marvin.
If I can add to that, yeah. So because a lot of what I do, for all of you to know, is work with our Associate Dean of Equity and Inclusion to ensure that all our students, and especially students that have been historically underrepresented in the College of Engineering, do succeed. And so I have to say I'm very proud that in the last 4 years since I joined Cal, I've seen the number of female engineers, as both students and alums, increase. This year alone, we're seeing an increase. Our incoming class is 36% female, which is amazing. And I know that last fall, our graduating class was about 26% was female, and increasing. So we're very proud of that. We're making progress. We're constantly making efforts with our entire college, not just our female students, to ensure that all students have access to the tools they need to succeed. So, but it's in the high 20s.
Marvin, I might keep you on the hot seat. So what would you say is the best way to get an internship or to get into research?
As I mentioned earlier, it's that intersection of being prepared and having all the tools that you need to have to be prepared, your resume, interview skills, networking, etc., and getting access and making yourself aware of all the opportunities out there. So in a nutshell, is network. And in particular for research opportunities and getting into a lab is really understanding, 1, what interests you? What is your passion? What areas are you interested in? 2, who is doing that work? What faculty? And even more importantly, what GSIs, what graduate student instructors, and what graduate students work with that faculty that you can connect with and literally make yourself available as a resource to their lab. We're trying to formalize that process, as I mentioned earlier. So we're creating a college-wide umbrella program to facilitate that process of getting into a lab. But ultimately, both for internships and for lab opportunities, it's all about networking, about getting to know your faculty and understanding what are you interested in and what do you offer. And we have a myriad of programs and support services to help you understand both.
Thanks, Marvin. Just as a reminder for anybody who joined us late, if you hit the thumbs up next to a question that you see, it'll bump it up to the top of the list. So if it's a question you also have, please hit that thumbs up. Okay, Dawn, when are ESS advisors assigned to students? Is it before course selection? Is it when students get on campus? When are they assigned?
So the assignment is really going to happen around the time that you engage in the online orientation. So you're going to be assigned according to your major, and depending on your major, you're going to be assigned according to your last name. So right now, there really isn't an assignment yet for you because we really want to make sure that you engage with that online orientation that's going to be happening over the summer. And a lot of your questions will be answered through that process. We put a lot of time and a lot of energy into making sure that we give you the information that you need so that when you go to choose your classes, you have a really good idea of what the courses are that you should be taking in your first semester. So that's really when we'll begin our relationship, so to speak, with our assigned students. So as of now, we're just going to ask that you sit tight because I know the next natural question is, I think it's even on here somewhere, when do we get to start meeting with our advisor? And we'd really like for you to take the time to, again, fully engage with the online orientation because so many of the questions are addressed in that. And then there is going to come a time where there's going to be some communication about what courses you should take, and you're going to run your schedules by us, and we will be involved, and soon. So just in really a few short weeks, if you consider summer a few short weeks away.
Thanks, Dawn. So Olivia, do you want to talk about what are some of the main differences between computer science in the College of Letters and Science and EECS in the College of Engineering?
Sure, that's a great question. That's asked a lot, I feel. So basically, within the College of Letters and Sciences, you are taking more breadth requirements. So in College of Engineering speak, that would be humanities, social science courses. So you are taking more of those. However, ultimately, you are earning a BA in the College of Letters and Sciences, and you're earning a BS, Bachelor of Science, from the College of Engineering. Does that make a difference when you go into industry? Does that make a difference when you're applying to graduate school? Ultimately, you are taking the same upper division CS courses, potentially some EE courses. So if you were accepted into the College of Letters and Sciences, into computer science, you are still going to be taking the same or similar upper division courses that our electrical engineering computer science students take. So again, the only difference, at least in my viewpoint, is that you are taking more humanities courses when you go through the College of Letters and Sciences.
Thanks, Olivia. And the next question is, Sharina, I'll ask you this one. Are there any Berkeley courses online where we could complete some of our credits right now during this break in preparation for our first semester next year?
So yes, theoretically, one could sign up for summer courses during the break, and they're all online at at least for UC Berkeley's summer session. The caveat here is that those grades will definitely count towards your overall GPA. So please consider that when you're making these types of choices. Also, you may want to consider what types of courses that you're taking. So certainly you are able to take a technical course over the summer. We would recommend that if you do that, you just consider maybe just taking one and maybe taking a humanities course. You can actually ask your advisor for this type of advice now if you are planning for the summer. So if you sign up for maybe Freshman Edge or Transfer Edge for the transfer students that might be listening in, that will allow you to sign up for courses, and it will already give you your access to your Cal Central portal, where you will see our names and emails on there. We recommend that if you're going through either of those programs, definitely check with us first so we can advise you properly in terms of what choices you should make or not make. Also, you don't necessarily have to take a summer course to prepare to come to join us in the fall. You might want to consider, for example, maybe taking a free programming class to prepare, or a free calculus class to prepare. Coursera has this, edX has this. These are just resources that you don't have to pay for, but would give you maybe a leg up for the fall.
Thanks, Sharina. And then sort of to piggyback on that, Olivia, there's a question about should an EECS student take CS 61A over the summer? What's your thoughts on that?
So I advise electrical engineering, computer science students, as does Sharina and Dawn. So we all get this question. So can you take it? Yes, you can take it. Are there some downsides to taking it? If my students were to email me and say, I'm considering taking CS61A over the summer, would you recommend it? I wouldn't talk you out of it, but I would caution you that CS61A is a partner-based course, meaning normally you would want to work with another person. So when you take it online, and if you take it over the summer, you're losing that component. And it's really important as you continue into your upper divisions, and you really need to show your ability to work in teams, that you have this ability. So you do miss out on that aspect when you take it over the summer, which again, summer is a faster pace than it would be during a regular semester. So can you take it? Yes. Do we recommend it? We will leave it up to you. We will not say no, but just understand there is hesitation in us saying yes.
Thanks, Olivia. So Dawn, here's a question. We've heard that the majority of the engineering courses are taught by TAs versus professors, and professors are more focused on research programs. Can you advise about that? What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, this is something that is out there, and you'll probably find that there is going to be a number of courses that have a pretty strong component where graduate students and sometimes undergraduate students are pretty involved in the course. What's common is oftentimes professors they're responsible for the lecture for the course. Then you break into those labs or those discussion sections, and that's where you'll find across the board, across the disciplines, that oftentimes graduate students and maybe even undergraduates are leading those courses. Yes, faculty are really involved in research. We're a research institution. We benefit from that, but they also are really committed to instruction. We have some really amazing faculty who have teaching awards and things like that because of their engagement, not just in teaching, but in teaching undergraduates. So you will probably find that there could be some truth to this, but it is not an across-the-board truth. So you will have the opportunity to also engage with upperclassmen and graduate students in courses, which is a really amazing opportunity, even if it is that they are leading these discussion sections, because you can find the opportunity to get a lot of really, really amazing advice, develop relationships with mentors and things like that. And sometimes those can happen by accident because of these kinds of opportunities. So yes, while there is some truth to it, it's not a bad thing either. So a lot of it's going to depend on the discipline. A lot of it's going to depend on the course, whether it's an introductory course or whether it's a smaller advanced course designed for junior and seniors.
Can I add just one thing to that? So keep in mind that both faculty and their teaching assistants, whether they be grad students or undergrads, have office hours. So if you want to engage more with a faculty member, you have those opportunities.
Thanks. So another question is, if we've taken the AP exam in Calculus BC, and I'm assuming received a score of 4 or 5, would you still recommend taking Math 1A and 1B? Olivia, do you want to tackle that one?
So what I would say is Dawn kind of alluded to this earlier, once you have sent in your statement of intent to register, you will be eventually emailed Golden Bear advising, or what we call GBA on our end. So what that does is it kind of walks you through, it will help you kind of choose your classes for your major. And within that, there actually is practice exams that you could take. So what we would suggest is go ahead and take those practice exams and just see, am I missing something? Does it seem like I could self-study this and still be okay? Or does it seem like maybe I should just take these courses? Because again, different students are coming from different schools. maybe different areas have been covered. So we just want to make sure everyone's on the same footing. So by taking these practice exams, it'll probably give you a good idea of whether or not you're prepared to move past Math 1A and Math 1B into Math 53, which is multivariable calculus, or Math 54, which is linear algebra and differential equations.
Thanks, Olivia. And this is a question, if I cancel an AP test, do I need to report this change? So I'm assuming that means reporting it to admissions. And I would say go ahead and report it. I think it's not going to be a problem, but you should report it. We understand AP exams are very different this year. We are still offering the same amount of credit, course credit that we always do. So, but it's entirely up to you if you want to take them or not. But yes, please do report it to your admissions counselor who is listed on your portal.
Hi everyone, my name is Amanda. I'm from the Office of Undergrad Admissions. And yes, please do report those. There is an update form that you can submit, and we do request that you please update that.
Great, thank you, Amanda. Thank you for joining us. Okay, Dawn, do you want to answer this one? Are we able to find research as a freshman?
So it certainly is likely possible that you can find research as a freshman. I think there's a lot of questions that have the could and should kinds of answers. So while yes, it's certainly possible, and I certainly don't want to be discouraging of students engaging in things that are going to be really meaningful and important to them. I might recommend that you hold off a little bit as a freshman, because you're, especially in your first semester and even going into your second semester, you're learning new material. You're also learning a new way that things are done. Even if you've taken community college courses at UC Berkeley, the pacing, the structure, and everything are going to be a lot different. I think the freshman year is maybe a little bit more of a planning phase, because they're going to be topics that you might not even necessarily know that you're interested in. And as you start exploring those ideas, that might lead you to kind of think a little bit more, or think a little bit differently about the kind of research that you might want to engage in. So yes, it certainly could be possible. And my colleagues might disagree with me on this. I would say your freshman year is really a lot of, I think, learning and exploring, and taking advantage of a lot of the resources that are available to you. And I don't think that there is any harm in maybe not doing research in your freshman year, and maybe waiting a little bit, or maybe after your freshman year. I think that would be a really ideal time to think a little bit more seriously about research.
Could I just add to that, Sharon?
Yeah.
So definitely, I agree with Dawn. I think your first year, we tell students, or at least I tell students, that really your first summer is really your only summer that's probably your own. After that, every summer is probably going to have some research or some internship that you should be in, or enrolled in summer school classes, one of those three. So don't feel the rush to go ahead, feel that, oh, if I don't get research or an internship my first summer, that now I'm not going to be competitive down the road. That is not true. Additionally, research, a lot of times professors are looking for certain classes for students to take before they may be admitted into their labs. So definitely you could start connecting with professors to talk to them about their research and just start to get to know professors. But no, it's not necessary to get research or an internship your first year. And we would probably, I would probably advise against it.
Yeah, I piggyback on that as well. So just as an addition, if you want to get your hands dirty, but aren't quite ready for a research opportunity, student groups are great for that. So definitely, meet up with the competition teams and see how you can get in, and get your hands dirty, what experience you can get with those groups. Those groups can sometimes lead to internships as well. So definitely take advantage of that opportunity.
Thanks, everyone. And I just wanted to let everyone know there are a lot of questions we haven't been able to answer so far, and we only have a few minutes left. We are copying all of these questions over. We're going to work on an FAQ that we're going to post to our Cal Week page at the end of this week. So please don't feel discouraged if your question didn't get answered. Also, we're having another session specifically for admitted freshmen on Tuesday, and that's going to be for an hour at 5 o'clock. And you can go to our Cal Week page. I'll show you that in a minute. That's listed on there. So you're also welcome to join us there and ask your question again. Oh, it looks like we're sharing it now. I think we're going to try to do maybe one more question. And Olivia, how easy is it to use your AP or IB or A-level credit to skip out of maybe some of the freshman level courses?
So what I would recommend is, a lot of times students are saying, if I took certain AP or IB exams, what courses would that have satisfied? So if you go to engineering.berkeley.edu and in the search box, just type in exams and then click on that first link, that'll actually bring you to our exam page where you can see, oh, so I got a 4 or 5 on my AP Calculus BC exam. That means I could, you don't have to, again, I could skip out of Math 1A and Math 1B. Those are satisfied by these exam scores. So there are some exams also that will only offer you credit and will not fulfill major requirements. So all of that is listed again if you go to engineering.berkeley.edu and then just type in exams in the search box, you'll be able to see what you may have fulfilled.
Thank you. So I think we're going to wrap it up for now. I want to encourage you to join us though for the student panel, which is coming up next. I see that there's a popular question: what are some tips or recommendations to be successful as a College of Engineering freshman? And that, I think, is a great question for our student panel to answer. So please do join us at 11 o'clock for that. If you have more questions and maybe you're unable to attend our next session and you want to email your questions, please do email us at Engineering Student Services at ESS@berkeley.edu. You can also visit our website. It's very robust. We have a whole section for admitted students. We have all of our major requirements on there, all of our 4-year plans, and that's engineering.berkeley.edu. And just wanted to also say again, we have another Q&A with the ESS advisors on Tuesday at 5 o'clock. And the link for that is available on our Cal Week website, which is engineering.berkeley.edu/Cal Week 2020. And next is going to be Shaniqua Butcher, who's another ESS advisor, who is going to have a student panel of engineering students, and she'll moderate that. And again, it's going to be another Q&A panel. We are going to close out this session and then start up that one. So we're going to close out this meeting and start that one. So please do join us at 11 o'clock for that. Thank you so much for your questions, and we hope to see you again on Tuesday. Thank you.